everyone, I've got some beautiful, beautiful tropical, sunshiny, exotic fragrances for you. These to me are perfection. Every single one of them contains coconut, and to me I think coconut is a really tricky smell, only because it's been so overused in a youthful market of bath and body products. So I have a very distinct scent memory with coconut in a leave-in conditioner that could be bought very, very cheaply from Boots when I was younger. And also coconut has been used in cheap bath foams and shower gels. Just, it's kind of overused, and it can smell a little bit synthetic and yeah, just cheap really. As much as that may sound a bit snobby, coconut to many people will have a very distinct scent memory, and that may be maybe a cocktail, maybe you're used to drinking coconut cocktails, in which case that's a great scent memory. But for me, and I think for quite a few other people, coconut can smell cheap just because of what it reminds you of from years gone by. So coconut doesn't always work for me in a fragrance if it is overdone. If the coconut note is too strong, it's going to put me off a little bit. And coconut can smell different in different fragrances. So sometimes it can smell very wet and fleshy and sweet. Other times it can smell more woodsy, almost like you're smelling the outside of the husk of the coconut and just a hint of what's inside the shell. I don't know how the perfumers managed that. My understanding is you cannot extract a coconut to put in a perfume. You can only use a synthetic. So let's get into the perfumes. To me, there's 6 here. To me, they are all classy and very, very wearable. So let's start. No particular order, but I am going to save my favourite one till last. We'll start off with the only designer in the list, and this is Terracotta Le Parfum by Guerlain. This is an eau de toilette, despite being called Terracotta Le Parfum. It is eau de toilette in strength, and it does behave a little bit like a weaker eau de toilette in my opinion. I have to reapply this after about 4 hours, but I don't mind. You can buy this now quite cheaply at retailers online. Don't buy it directly from Guerlain. If you buy it from an online retailer, you will get a much better price. This bottle here is 100 ml, and the bottle is absolutely stunning. I really, really love that bottle. But it's about the smell here, isn't it? And this is white florals. Very, very sharp and fresh. It does smell like sunscreen. White florals and coconut, and perhaps the merest hint of a citrusy element. Extremely uplifting and really, really pretty. Not the strongest and not the most complex fragrance, but really beautiful no less. Let's move swiftly on. This is a well-known Creed fragrance called Virgin Island Water. Now, I used to say that this fragrance didn't last very long. I had a decant. I do not know what the batch number was, and maybe I didn't spray as much from the decant as I do from the bottle. Beautiful bottle again, but this gave me more than 12 hours when I wore it on a night shift the other day. I'm not even joking. I'm not saying it was a big beast projector, but it certainly did last well on my skin. This, to me, is predominantly lime and coconut. I don't get a lot more out of it than that. People talk about sugar cane and rum. To me, I just get lime and coconut. Very, very simple. Not much. Got a bloody sweetie hair again. Sweetie. Not too much going on in terms of how it changes on the skin, but extremely fresh. The lime is very bitter and sharp, and then the coconut gives it this sweetness. Really nice fragrance. The price tag's pretty high for basically for what it is. However, it does smell good. And if you want to wear something that perhaps is more likely to be recognised by other people, then this one would be a good option. So that's Virgin Island water. I don't have the proper bottle of this. It's Tom Ford Soleil Blanc. This is proper stuff inside here. This has come from the factory. A friend of a friend works at a factory where they bottle, I think they make and bottle fragrances for many different companies, and the staff get to buy these very cheap. And this is one that my friend at work didn't want anymore, and she gave it to me. Very, very generous of her. And it's Soleil Blanc. This is one of the sweeter ones from this category. It does have a note of pistachio along with the white florals and the coconut. It smells like you are covered in the most delectable sunscreen whilst eating ice cream. It's really, really edible and gorgeous. Not mega fresh. There is a little bit of I think bergamot in the opening. There's some fresh citruses going on to start with, but this one is definitely a lot sweeter. It smells like there's vanilla in there. It smells like there's ice cream, and it's really, really beautiful. Tom Ford Soleil Blanc. Now this is Giovanna Antonelli, and it's called 611 Extremo. This one is a tuberose fragrance. It's tuberose and coconut and sunscreen, but it feels really warm and sexy, like warm sand and sunscreen on a hot body, but not animalic, just really warm and sexy. Tuberose is slightly different to jasmine and gardenia, which is in most of these fragrances. Tuberose is a little more blousy, loud, a little more floral, if that makes sense. To me, tuberose always smells like a huge bunch of flowers that hits you in the face. I don't always get along with tuberose, but in here it is absolutely gorgeous, and I feel like it's kept in check by the other notes in here. It's absolutely beautiful fragrance. Really, really enticing. Could wear that any situation. If you wanted to impress someone, if you was going on a date, if you're going out for a night out. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And the coconut in here is not overdone. It's just it's not the main note here. It's just mixing in with everything and just making it tropical. It's beautiful. Okay, so this is the most complex of these fragrances, and it's called Suntanglam from SP Parfums. This one, oh my god, this is a crazy fragrance. This is not one to blind buy because there's some animalic notes in here that I might not agree with everybody. I don't always do animalics well, but these notes, they are fine with me. It smells like two hot bodies that have been baking in the sun all day long, absolutely slathered in suntan oil, and they're making love in the sun dunes, and you could smell the hot sweat from their bodies. And I'm not talking about BO, I'm not saying that they are unwashed, but there is just this animalic sexiness that comes from this fragrance. So you have the coconut. It smells like the coconut in a tropical sun tanning oil. You know, those old-fashioned people used to smother themselves in oil and bake all day. It smells like that, but it also smells smoky. It smells like there's a bit of a fire going on further down the beach, like not right in front of you, but if you go right the way down the beach, a quarter of a mile, and there's a fire there, and you're just getting the wafts from that fire. There's resins in here, but it is truly a beach and sex fragrance. Really, really interesting, absolutely phenomenal staying power and projection. It's a beast. One spray only is all you need. Sometimes I might do two. It doesn't feel safe to wear this to work. It's too provocative. It's definitely a night out kind of fragrance. and really, really amazing. So I'm going to come to my last one, and this is my favourite, and it's also my most recent, and that is Chameleon. So I've only just reviewed this one on my channel. Do have a look, I'll link it below. And it's Chameleon by Zoologist. As you can see, the absolutely beautiful bottle with the holographic label, the most stunning bottle ever. I love this presentation, it is out of this world. So this one has ylang ylang in it. Now ylang ylang is a yellow flower, and it smells slightly different to jasmine and gardenia. It's more, I'd say it's more mellow. It definitely still smells exotic and tropical, but it's not so reminiscent of a suntan lotion. It's slightly different. Oh God, it's so good. So it does remind me of suntan lotion still. Oh, so divine. It also has this pinkness to it. It's really difficult to explain. A very, very pink, vibrant fragrance. So you've got ylang ylang. It smells vanilla-y a little bit. It smells creamy. It smells tropical and lush, but it's not gimmicky. You can smell the coconut, but it's subtle again. It's not over the top. It doesn't overpower anything. It just works. It just works. Now, ylang ylang can sometimes smell a little bit banana-y, and I do see that. I'm not saying this smells like a banana, far from it, but if you were to waft a banana in the distance and then just catch a tiny whiff of it, you could smell a tiny bit like what's in this fragrance. Let me show you the artwork that goes with it. 1 second. Victor Wong has teamed up with an artist who goes by the name of The Big in the Small, and he does bubble art. So he makes bubbles and then photographs those bubbles in high definition, I think. And he did this piece of work specifically to go with the Chameleon perfume. And when I saw A Big in the Small and I went through his website and I had a look at all the pictures, I absolutely fell in love with all the pictures, all different crazy bubbly pictures. And I decided that when I get my new house, I wanted to buy a piece of art from him. And I went through everything, and there were so many that I really liked, but nothing made me feel like I needed to own it. When I went back and looked at this one's called Camouflage. When I went back and looked at this, I just knew that I had to have it. So I ordered it, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Look at this. I'm sorry about the reflection on the glass there. So I framed it myself in this old sort of shabby chic style frame because that goes with my furniture. But look at that. You can tell I like these colours because look at this jumper. Pastel rainbow colours are my thing. I have an 8-year-old's view of the world when it comes to colours and rainbows and unicorns. Anyway, that's enough of that. So that was my final pick and my favourite, Chameleon. All of these are absolutely stunning renditions of a coconut scent, just where coconut is classy and very nicely blended with the other materials, so it's not too strong and doesn't come off cheap and nasty. That is all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.